What if I told you that by the time most people are diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, nearly 70% of the brain cells responsible for movement are already gone? Yeah. Gone. And what's even more surprising? The damage may have started years, even decades earlier, silently. But here's the hopeful part: what if some of the biggest risk factors are actually within your control today? In this video, we're breaking down what Parkinson's really is, what causes it, and most importantly, what you can start doing right now to reduce your risk. 1. What is Parkinson's? Parkinson's disease is a progressive neurodegenerative disorder, meaning it slowly damages the brain over time. It's actually the second most common neurodegenerative disease, right after Alzheimer's. About 1% of people over 60 are affected. At its core, Parkinson's is driven by something called protein misfolding. Certain proteins in the brain, especially one called alpha-synuclein, start to fold the wrong way, clump together, and eventually kill neurons. These neurons are critical for producing dopamine, the chemical that helps control movement. So when they die, symptoms like tremors, stiffness, and slow movement begin to appear. But again, the scary part? By the time symptoms show up, most of the damage is already done. 2. Core question. So the real question becomes, how do we stop, or at least slow down, the buildup of these misfolded proteins? And while there's no guaranteed way to prevent Parkinson's entirely, there are ways to reduce your risks significantly. 3. Risk factors. Parkinson's develops over a long time, often decades. And the risk factors fall into two categories. First, non-modifiable factors, like genetics. You can't change these. But second, and this is where things get interesting, are modifiable factors, environmental toxins, diet, lifestyle choices. These are the ones you can influence. 4. 3 main strategies. If we simplify the science, prevention comes down to 3 key strategies. 1. Minimize exposure to environmental toxins. 2. Maximize your brain's defenses through diet. 3. Avoid head trauma. Let's break these down. 5. Environmental toxins. There's strong evidence linking Parkinson's to certain neurotoxins, including industrial chemicals like PCBs, pesticides such as DDT, dioxins, heavy metals like lead and mercury. Studies from institutions like the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences and Harvard School of Public Health have shown that long-term exposure to these substances can significantly increase Parkinson's risk. And here's the problem: these toxins don't just disappear. They linger in the environment for years. And worse, they build up inside living organisms over time. This process is called bioaccumulation. 6. Diet and the food chain. One of the most powerful, and overlooked, ways to reduce toxin exposure is this: eat lower on the food chain. Why? Because toxins become more concentrated as you move up the food chain. For example, lead tends to accumulate in bones, mercury in muscle tissue, many toxins in fat. So when you eat animal products, you're not just eating the animal. You're also consuming everything it was exposed to. Research published in journals linked to the World Health Organization has shown that switching to a more plant-based diet can reduce certain toxin exposures, like dioxins, by over 90%. And modern industrial farming doesn't help. Some livestock are fed processed animal waste, creating a cycle where toxins keep concentrating further. Even pasture-raised or organic options can still carry environmental contaminants, because these toxins are often already present in soil and water. So this isn't about perfection, it's about reducing cumulative exposure. 7. Plant-based diet benefits. A diet centered around vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts and seeds does more than just lower toxin intake. It also supports Healthy body weight. Better blood flow to the brain. Reduced inflammation. Research from institutions like Oxford University and the American Academy of Neurology suggests that combining a plant-forward diet with regular exercise may significantly improve brain health outcomes. 8. Nicotine paradox. Here's something unexpected: smokers have been observed to have a lower risk of Parkinson's disease. But before anyone gets the wrong idea, smoking increases your risk of stroke, cancer, and heart disease. So what's going on? Scientists believe nicotine itself may have a protective effect on brain cells. Interestingly, nicotine is also found, naturally, in small amounts in nightshade vegetables, especially bell peppers. So instead of harmful sources like cigarettes or secondhand smoke, you can get trace amounts from food, without the downside. 9. Brain health and berries. Your brain depends on a healthy blood supply. If blood vessels are damaged, like in atherosclerosis, your brain doesn't get enough oxygen or nutrients. That's where berries come in. Studies from Harvard Medical School have found that berries are strongly associated with better brain health and may even delay neurodegenerative diseases. They're packed with antioxidants and phytonutrients that help protect brain cells. 10. Caffeine effect. Caffeine is another interesting player. Multiple studies, including those from the National Institutes of Health, have linked caffeine intake to a lower risk of Parkinson's disease. Coffee appears to be the strongest source, with tea having a milder effect. Some research even suggests caffeine may improve motor function within weeks in certain individuals. 11. Warning about dairy. Now let's talk about dairy. In many Western diets, dairy is one of the largest sources of environmental toxins. But there's another issue. Certain dairy proteins may bind to beneficial phytonutrients, reducing your body's ability to absorb them. So it's not just what dairy contains, it's also what it might be blocking. 12. Keeping it real. Now, it's important to be clear, this isn't about guaranteeing prevention. Parkinson's is complex, and no strategy is 100% effective. But what the science suggests, across research from organizations like the World Health Organization, NIH, and leading universities, is this: you can meaningfully reduce your risk by stacking small, smart choices over time. In conclusion, so if you take away just 3 things from this video, let it be this: reduce exposure to environmental toxins. Shift toward a more plant-based, whole food diet. Protect your brain through nutrition, movement, and avoiding injury. These aren't extreme changes. They're practical, science-backed steps that add up over years. And since Parkinson's develops over decades, what you do today really does matter. If you found this helpful, hit the like button, it really helps more people see this. Subscribe for more science-backed health content, and let me know in the comments, what's one change you'd actually be willing to try this week? I'll see you in the next video.